Hi, my name is Brooke Lipman.
And I'm Dr. Deb Lipman.
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready. We're talking about Fasnacht.
Yes, and it's something very new to me. Mm-hmm. I've only known Fasnacht for 5 years.
I know. I was trying to see my gems. My unicorn head is in the way. All right, so Fasnacht in Switzerland, it's very common for people to dress up in costumes. I think it's the same in Germany as well.
Yep, and most people in the U.S. know it as Carnival.
Or Mardi Gras.
Or Mardi Gras, yeah. If, you know, the more, I guess you would call that Southern. Very Southern.
Well, in Louisiana, because of the French Quarter.
Yeah, the French Quarter.
So Mardi Gras is French.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. And so, the one little bit of knowledge I have about Fasnacht in Germany is I think it is what we call Cologne or Cologne.
Yeah.
In Germany, they actually start Fasnacht on November 11th.
Ooh.
And it runs through February until the big parades where everybody kind of, gets into the festivities. And then, as far as the calendar goes, I don't know if it leads right into Lent. I don't know if it has anything to do with, the Catholic side of it or the religious side of it. But I know our experience with Fasnacht has been a ton of fun, and each year we go a little bit more towards trying to acclimate. And so last year, without you here, I did dress up a little bit. I wore a red petticoat and my tights, and no, I didn't. As far as the top goes, I didn't go all out. But this year I'm going to try to go much more 80s, because there's always, at least in our town, there's always this ABBA cover band, and I love them. And it was so funny because I searched for them last year. They were doing all the bands. I think that was the Friday night, or it might have been Friday and Saturday. But so your dad and I went. I'm pretty sure we went out on the Friday night, and took a few little videos so we could send to Mason. Because this was going to be right before Mason came. So Mason was going to miss Fasnacht. But, and then the Saturday, your dad, I guess, had so much fun that Friday night. He said, well, let's go out. And I thought, well, this time we're dressing up. Because that Friday night we didn't dress up. Yeah. I said, I've got a little petticoat. I think I'll wear my white base layer that I usually do my hiking in. Yeah. And, got all dressed up for that, and your dad put on his hiking hat and his leather jacket from way back in the day. And he said, I'll be Indiana Jones.
He didn't have a whip?
No whip. And so I thought, well, okay, this year, I'm gonna go a little bit further.
Well, you have an excuse because I wanted to dress up. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it was funny because we did meet our friend from England on that Saturday night. And so we would just kind of go to a corner and wait. And if you wait long enough, a band will come and set up right in front of you. And they'll play their music. And it's so much. And he was like, this is so cool. He said, I didn't know they would just come to you and set up right in front of you. And we thought, I think the funniest thing for me is there's a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, like, our first time going. And so the first time we went, and this is what I want to spend a lot of time on, because I want to hear what you remember,
okay.
and then I'll, after I've said what I remember. I remember the first time we ever went to a Fasnacht parade. It was pre-COVID. I mean, and then we're talking 2 weeks, 3 weeks pre-COVID. I mean, just a couple of weeks. So, in other words, we were probably in the midst of it and didn't know it.
Yeah.
And so there were so many people, so many cool floats, and we had learned about the confetti. You got to have your bag of confetti, and so of course we picked purple, and maybe we did a purple and a green. I don't remember. I know we're still. 5 years later, going on 6. Yeah. This is 6 years. This is 5 years. Yeah. 5 years later, we are still finding confetti in Brooke's room, in the bathroom. We still have confetti everywhere, and that makes it sound like I do not clean house, but I can promise you, it's definitely.
Well,
not
I also
that.
have a shag rug in my room, and so even if you clean that thing, it's nothing's getting out of it.
Because I've taken it outside and beaten it many times. Between then and now, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, so I remember us sitting up. I remember they have all these beer carts, right? And we said, okay, well, we'll get a beer. Everybody gets a beer. We got a beer, and it's the first time I had tried the Appenzell beer.
Okay.
I had not tried Appenzell yet. And one beer, and I was buzzed. And I don't know if it was the atmosphere. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I remember we get to our spot where we wanted to be for the parade. And we find this planter, and Brooke pushes it up against a building. And you stand up on the planter, and you're leaning on the building the whole time. So for the entire parade, you were up on there.
I don't think
where
I pushed
they could see you.
I think it was already there.
I thought we moved it a little.
I don't know. I don't think so.
But I do know we got lots of candy thrown at us. And so it was funny because last year at the parade, I had gotten us a spot right up front. And we were at a spot that they were just coming through the town. They were coming through the tunnel. So you could see, I didn't know that this happened until last year, but all these huge floats that can't get through the tunnel, they actually take their float apart. And just as they get back through the tunnel, they put it back together. And that was so much fun to watch. But I got lots of candy last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, if you dress a certain way, you get a lot of candy. But anyway, I do remember there was a little incident last year. These people came up and they just wanted us to move because they wanted their kids to get up front. And we were like, no.
Like that lady on the train the other day?
Yeah, we were like, no. And so your dad and I, we just started, we pushed ourselves. We had stood there for over an hour.
Oh my God.
We wanted that spot.
Yeah.
And just because you have a small kid, guess what? Come earlier. Yeah. Don't use your kid as an excuse to get you up front, which is exactly what they were doing. So anyway, they kept talking real bad about us behind our backs, like right behind us, talking about. And finally, this man intervenes, and he told them off in his German. He told them, he said, they were here first. He said, and you know what? If you want your kids to have a better spot to see, go somewhere else. He said, because we're not moving.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah. Look, I don't want people to think that I don't think kids, but you know what? They have a kids parade after the Sunday parade on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The kids parade is every Tuesday. It's not all the same people, but, it's the big parade on Sunday and then the kids parade on Tuesday. So, I mean, I went to the Tuesday Kids Parade, and I didn't stand up front and I made sure all the kids got in the front. But I was not doing it for that day. And I know that sounds mean, and I'm probably going to take a lot of flack from that. But.
No, I mean, you also had times where you always had to bring the kids early anyway, because any parade we went to, I was probably in.
You were in it.
So, I mean, I think of all people, you know what to expect from a parade.
Absolutely, I do.
So, I mean, I think people have gotten so entitled recently.
Yep.
Like, with their kids, like, people
especially
have just
with
been
kids.
so... Like, the people with younger kids now are just so entitled.
And I don't think I think there's always been a part of that. I think there's always been people who would use their kids as an excuse. Absolutely. I don't think that it's, like, just happened. But I think we definitely notice it now. And I think I notice it because I never did that. I would have never been that person to say, "Oh, he needs to see." And I mean, I have autistic kids.
Yeah.
Autistic kids.
You put them on your shoulders.
I never expected anyone to do something different or do something special for me and my kids.
Yeah.
I made sure I did the right thing. And so of course I expect people to do something. But again, in another podcast we talked about, I think it was actually the one that just dropped, I said, that I have learned in my 58 years, I, always thought you treat people the way you will be treated, but guess what? People don't learn from that.
Yeah.
And so people don't understand how I want to be treated when I treat people in that way. So I've got to learn to be different and I either have to say the words, "Hey, I kind of want that corkscrew. Will you buy it for me?" Or I, get it myself or something like that. But I have to start speaking up for what I want because trust me, people do not learn from the way you treat them that's what you're expecting.
Yeah.
They just think you're a pushover if you're being nice. Don't want to be that.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell me about what you remember from your first Fasnacht. I'll drink while you talk.
Okay. Well, I dressed up as Carol Danvers. Captain Marvel is like when she was human, like her human form, because I had the jumpsuit thing, and I don't really remember that much.
You remember people throwing candy at you?
Yeah,
you remember standing on the plant.
My beer had like the confetti in it.
Yeah.
And I still drank it. I have a picture of that.
You know what else I remember?
What?
Those people walking around with the red hats. Make America Great Again.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I remember thinking, I am going to secretly trip them. But I didn't. Because we don't solve our differences with violence.
I remember counting. Oh, do I have my phone in my pocket? I do. I remember counting how many Spider-Mans and Elsas there were because there were a whole lot.
Yes. I do remember that.
My phone doesn't recognize my face.
I'd forgotten that.
I think I still have the note on here about it.
That's so funny.
Jesus, that was so long ago. Maybe not. No, I guess I deleted it.
So how did we find out about Fasnacht? How did we get told, "Oh, you got to do this"?
I don't know. I think we saw posters.
No. We had seen posters, but we couldn't say the word. We didn't know how to pronounce the word because, it was just what a word. Fasnacht.
Oh, wait, it would have been 2020, not 2019.
Yeah. And so you were at this place. You were dancing and taking voice lessons in Lucerne. And some of your fellow dancers says, "Oh, you have to go to Fasnacht." And that's when we learned how to say it. And they were saying, "Oh, Lucerne's is the best." And we still haven't been there.
No.
And so they said, "Oh, you definitely have to. And you got to try the little crispy things."
Yeah.
And we still haven't bought any, but we need to. So there's these like light, crispy, it's like a sweet cracker with powdered sugar all over it. And it's, like I said, it's very light, very crispy, and it's so good. It's so really sweet. Good. But yeah, and so, but that's how we found out about Fasnacht. That's how we found out there was a parade, and we found out the Solothurn parade. And I feel like we just kind of lucked into it because we didn't know you had to buy these pins in order to get into this old city, Altstadt, the old city. You have to have this pin, and so. At that time,
it was so easy to sneak in though. Like they didn't have security at all the entrances.
But they are much better at that now. Okay. They have learned their lesson in Solothurn.
Well, we got the pins anyway.
We did get the pins, but we didn't buy 3. Your dad only bought 2.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, "Oh, I'll give you mine." Well, last year they were very tight with security, and if you didn't display that pin, they asked. I mean, they came right up to you and asked you. But last year the pins were 10 francs each.
Jeez.
So I want to try to find them early. I know the corner store used to sell them, but they didn't have them last year. So I don't know if they're going to have them this year. But anyway, the pin was really nice, but still 10 francs. But it was a lot of fun. We got to go see all the floats beforehand, and And it's so funny. I like it because, I get the memories on my photos. And, this time of year is always that. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So what do you expect this year? Because you weren't here last year.
No, I haven't been here the last 4 years. with his school. But
yep.
I don't know. I think it'll be fun.
I'm really surprised you never took a road trip to New Orleans.
I didn't have anyone to go with. And also, that's really far.
It was really far. Yes, much further from you than it was from me when I was in undergraduate.
Yeah. I mean, did you go to New Orleans during undergrad for Mardi Gras?
Okay, I did, but your father does not know this.
Oh, okay, so then we won't talk about it.
Oh, no, we can. So I had a friend, your dad liked Sean Knowles. He was a good friend. In fact, Sean asked your dad to be his best man at his wedding.
Is that the guy who was your friend first and then didn't actually ask you to do anything except read something at his wedding?
I didn't even get that. I didn't even get that. No. Yes, this is the person. We were very good friends for years before I married your dad and introduced the two of them. He asked your dad to be in the wedding, and they did not ask me to be in the wedding. I introduced them.
That's so funny.
I introduced them. But anyway, they're a sweet couple. I mean, you know, and I did. I think at first I was a little bit bitter about it, but I'm okay about it. Okay. Because, like I said, they're sweet, and, you know, I almost looked them up when I was in the U.S. for a while, but I didn't. Because I was close to them. Yeah. But, one year we took off south and brought, in fact, I had a mug for the longest time that said Bourbon Street, New Orleans.
Nice. I want to go to New Orleans.
I think that you need to do it when you're young, and you absolutely need to.
Yeah, well, I don't have money.
I encourage everybody to, well, you know what, after this past New Year's, I don't know how, but before the New Year's Eve incident in New Orleans, I was still all about young people need to experience this. I just don't know now. I don't think you need to experience anything with a crowd in the United States.
No.
Sorry. It's just not safe. Yeah. But you know what? Here, anything, I want to experience it all. We're going to a hockey game soon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So we'll definitely let you guys know about the hockey game.
I'm bringing one of those blankets I got.
Oh, yeah, you should.
I'm so bringing one of those blankets.
Yes, because they'll fold up nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and
if we're that close,
well, we're not going to do it back, so you're going to have to just wear it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, wear your blankie.
You know,
it's so cute. Anyway. You will not. Yeah, it's gonna. Well, we're gonna be on ice, and so we're actually doing that for Valentine's Day.
I know. I'm
so we'll definitely try to take some pictures and post it and stuff like that.
Which means I guess I have to wear the pink one because.
Oh yeah. I don't know the colors of the teams we're going to see. Who are we going to see play? I know we're going to see the Bill Ben team.
Well, yeah, I don't know who they're playing.
Because that's where we're going to. Is their ice hockey rink. Yeah. Oh, God, I don't remember who they're playing. Maybe Geneva.
Maybe. And then at some point, we're going to see a football game, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. We got to look up the information on that.
Women's Euros
hopefully go to the Women's Euros this year. Absolutely. So much exciting stuff to do here in Europe. So, you know, here, we're definitely getting off the topic of Fasnacht. But it kind of goes right into, you know, just our experience here in Europe and how I've definitely changed. Oh, I've changed 100%. And it's so funny because I noticed that more when I was in the U.S. for a few months. I actually, when I first got there and had that job that I had to work for a few months, I was ready to move back.
Yeah.
I was ready to move back because I missed my sister. I missed the stuff. We love to shop. Oh, my God. And we love to laugh about our shopping habits. But, you know, we just have a lot of fun together. And we're very different. Oh, God, we're so different. But we have a lot of fun together. We miss each other. And I think it was really hard for me to not want to be there. Plus, I was so close to Justin and the grandkids, and I loved that. I could see them almost every weekend. I mean, I had to spend some weekends at the camper because I had to clean. Yeah. And because I couldn't, you know, even that little small space, I mean, I had to clean once a week because I can't stand dirty. And so, but being back here and all the fun things we can do, and I feel safe about it. Oh, yeah, bring your baby up here. All the fun things that we can do here and feel safe. It's just, I wish everybody could be here with us.
Yeah.
But I know we can't afford that to have everybody here. So I would love to, I wish we were in a position financially to just have everybody here.
Yeah.
Because we just have a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We do have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we just trips to the grocery store here can be adventurous.
Yeah.
Because, wait a minute, the other day when you went for your run, you got lost on your run the other day.
Yeah, I did. Well, I couldn't remember because I wanted backwards.
You took a new path and it went the opposite way than when we practiced it.
I didn't know what I was doing. It's okay. I mean, I got home.
You did, thank goodness. Yeah. And it's so funny because I do watch, watch when it's been a little while, I'll look to make sure, you're still kind of running.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of funny.
But yeah, I know. I need to find a new place to go running now because that one trail gets super muddy when it's raining and the other one floods. So I need to find a third trail. But I think there's a way up.
You could do my heels.
Yeah, but that's all on
I love
pavement.
my hill climbing.
It's all on pavement.
Not all of it.
Yeah, but most of it.
I would say a lot. Yeah, most of it is. I think I'd say 2/3 of it is on pavement. Yeah, which is something I don't like either. It hurts my shins and my knees, but it's my heels, and I like the exercise of it. And it helps me get ready for my Sunday hike. Yeah. So I have to do my heels during the week to be ready for Sunday.
Yeah. I didn't even do my full run this morning.
It's okay.
Mostly because it was muddy.
Yeah, I started to say, it rained all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All night last night. I heard rain throughout the night.
Yes.
So, yeah. But, Okay, so more about Fasnacht. So it's like a party. Like we said, we described it like Carnival, Mardi Gras. I don't know if all European countries kind of have but I know a lot of the cities in Switzerland have their own thing. Yeah. And I told you, this weekend we were coming through this little small town. It's called Zwingen. And it had all their signs up about when the parade's going to be and when they're going to shoot off their cannon. Okay, so the cannon thing, by the way, they actually do shoot off a cannon. And it's loud, and it's at 5:30 in the morning. So, they have a 5:30. I think that's called the Chasselet.
Okay, I don't know.
Or something like that. And so that kind of marks the beginning of that week. And so at 2:30 in the morning, or 5:30 in the morning, you get woken up by the cannon. And then, it's just kind of funny. So, so the cannon thing, that's, last year we actually got up and listened out for it. Usually it wakes us up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in my room, and because I'm so high up, I probably won't hear it. I don't think I've ever heard it in my room just because it's so, in the middle, even and my windows are on the other side, so. Yeah. Because it's that way.
Yeah, it is. It is right outside my office. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I can't even usually hear when the train goes by.
Talk about hearing things. Okay, this is way off. This morning when I walked down to see the river, because you sent me the text, I had my earbuds in and was trying to finish up my podcast that I was listening to, and I could hear the river before I started up the hill.
Yeah, it was
I thought,
loud.
Is that the river? There's no way that's the river.
It was going so fast, and it was so loud.
It is moving right now, and it's filled up all of its space. Yeah. So if there's any more water, we're going to be in trouble because I think it's going to come over the banks.
Yeah, but we're not close enough that it's going to be a problem.
No, because we still have that. We still have the hill blocking us. That we're up away from it.
Might have a problem. I don't know. It's still far enough away.
I think there's a slight chance that once it tops that crest, it's going to come down to Bocce Club. But
I mean, also there's the canal on the way, so I think it'll.
Oh, that's true. We hadn't thought about the canal. Canal would take a lot of it. Yeah.
So I think it'll be okay.
And oh my goodness, it was so loud. I thought that was kind of funny. Okay, but anyway, back to Fasnacht. Food, fried foods.
We do have a lot of fried foods.
With sugar on it. I mean,
you think you were in the U.S.
You think, exactly, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's almost, you could compare it to county fairs in the South.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Except there's a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And they don't do beer. Some people do, but nothing like here. Yeah. And like I said, I only had that one beer the first time, and I had a buzz halfway through the parade. I was like, I'm gonna have Appenzeller beer more often. But yeah, that was good. But we just had so much fun, and then throwing the confetti and receiving the confetti. Yeah, it's almost like your beads in New Orleans, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And you'll run into people. I remember our first year. Yeah. We were in the back of the parade throwing the confetti, and this girl looked at us. Do you remember this?
No.
And she looked at us and she said, and we were like, okay, no confetti for you.
There's a lot of older people in Solitaire that are just grumpy.
Yeah, I feel like though at this time of year, at Christmas, people are very kind. It's just sort of like just in the U.S., how they people kind of have they wear a different hat.
Well, it's because
during that time, but I feel like
Santa's gonna bring them coal.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like at this time of year, a lot of people are having fun. Yeah. But now last year, oh gosh, did we go to a bar? I'm trying to remember your dad now. I think we didn't get any beer the first night that we were out. It was cold. And he actually, as much as, when we started out thinking it was going to be fun, he had a lot of fun when we were there, but didn't quite want to stay in the crowd that night. But we did watch a couple of good bands, really good bands, and then kind of made our way back home. So we were only out maybe an hour. But then that Saturday, I was like, well, why don't we dress up? And, okay, well, we'll go a little earlier. And we were supposed to meet our friend, and he didn't show up. And then we were about to leave. We'd gone and gotten a hot dog pretzel from Pretzel Koenig. And then we got the OK beers. Okay. From, what is that little store? Avec. Yeah. Okay, so we got the OK beer.
They sure are okay.
They are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. And so then we got that, and then your dad gets a text from our friend, and he said, oh, well, I think he's on his way. Well, turns out that our friend thought he was going to be able to come the normal way through the tunnel at from Moutier. I can't remember that little town on the other side of the
tunnel was
but
closed.
It had just closed a couple of days before that. And so his plan had changed. It took him a much longer trip to get into Solothurn because he couldn't go through the tunnel. And so we waited, and we started getting cold, and we thought, okay, well, we're going to need an OK beer. So we went and got another OK beer and got a third, for him. And so then, but then, he showed up, and then we ended up staying out several hours. And walking around the town and, listening to bands and having lots and lots of fun. Yeah. But, it does get, once it gets late, they have these bathrooms set up all around, like public restrooms. Yeah. But for the men, it's like, it's just a little space for you to go. And it's not really covered. And so you don't want to look in that way. Because they're just all standing around a piss pot, basically, doing the thing. And so don't look in there. Okay, so I'm just warning you. I'll tell you where that's at. Okay. It's like, where Red John is. Kind of walk down the hill. Okay. Yeah, and right before you get to the theater, there's a little spot.
The theater's on the other side.
Yeah, but there's a spot, like right by the river, where you usually can bring in your raft or whatever if you want to get off early there. So don't.
But no, my point was that the theater is uphill from Red John, not downhill.
Yeah, but Red John, you go downhill, then go to the theater. Yeah,
no, it is downhill. The theater, and then you go downhill to Red John. Yes. Yes, because that's
look
where the
next
walking
time.
bridge
I promise you, Red John's at the top of the hill.
Is Red John not by the walking bridge? Is it by the driving bridge?
Red John is by the driving bridge.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was by the walking bridge.
That's Soulaire.
Oh, no.
Getting our bars
Obviously, I haven't been to the bars in Solothurn enough. Clearly.
When was the last time we did a bar crawl?
We did it once, 3 years ago.
Has it really been that long?
Something like that. I did a bar crawl with friends in Boston last May. That was fun.
I thought it had been... You're done. I could do it once in a while, but yeah. Okay, let's see. When we went on the one with you, where all did we go? I know we started at Half a Bar.
Yeah.
We go to the dock.
And then there was that one place that was probably a brothel.
Which one?
The one in the city that had the downstairs and it was techno inside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, was it really?
I don't know, but it seemed like weird.
By that time, I had already had 3 beers. So.
And then I know we ended at Shipyard because I beat you guys at darts.
Did we really end there?
Yes.
Okay. No. We ended at Solaire because I had the porn star martini.
Oh, right. So we went
to Shipyard before
darts.
we went to that other place.
Yeah.
And yeah. And now Shipyard's closed. That guy was so nice. He was so grunge, and I loved him.
It was a couple months before they closed.
Yes, it was because they were going to close in October of that year, and so we went back one more time, and then
maybe it was 2 years ago then because it was right. Was it? No, it couldn't have been right before. No, it would have. That's right. Yeah. I forgot that
was it before you went to London?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh my goodness, because that's why you were here late in September. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. We talked about the food. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fried food during Fasnacht though. Yeah, but it's and the crispy things we have to get those. Maybe we'll eat them. Well, I won't eat. Well, we're talking, so that'd be kind of gross. Sorry. But yeah, fun stuff. So I don't know if you remember a few years, this had to have been 4 years ago. It might have even been our first year when we didn't quite know about Fasnacht because there was we were on a bus going into Sojourner, just kind of we go often, and there was this little school group on there. I don't know if you remember.
No.
They were very young. We're talking kindergarten, first grade. And the teacher it was one man with 12 kids. And, I would say he's close to my age. Anyway, he had those crispy things, and they were headed back to school. And he was talking to them about what they were going to do when they get back to school. And, of course, all of them were talking about eating those crispy things. And I guess some of them had some money of their own because they all, not all of them, but most of them had picked up an extra treat at the store. And so they were wanting to eat their extra treat on the bus, and he was trying to stop all of them. And he's at this end of the bus. The kids are all over. I mean, on both ends of the bus. It was so funny. And he was like, no, or nine. So it was kind of funny. And I thought, oh, wow. They're brave. They just take kids out on an adventure whenever. And they do. We see kids a lot.
Yeah.
Often we see kids. I mean, they even have hiking day here in Switzerland, and I think that's in autumn. So it might be late September, October, but they have hiking day. The kids go to school, and then they go out on a hike, and the teachers take them, up mountains, and I've run into a few times. Yeah. I've run into them on Wandertag, and I thought I should have known today was that day, but I never know when Wandertag is, and so I'm out on my walks and run into school groups. It's so funny. It's not something you see in the U.S. No. In our part, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that as if the whole U.S. doesn't do so, but for sure in the area that I've worked, and in the areas where you have been in school, you would not have a day where y'all take the whole day and just go hiking.
No.
So and I mean this is an annual thing. They do this every year here. Wandertag. So fun to see. I remember one year I had gone up the hill, the one that takes you across the R. Yeah. And then you go up behind the farm. And if you get to the top of the hill, you can look across and you see Biogen. Sorry, I'm talking with my hands like crazy. Okay. So you can see where Todd works. And I took a picture from where I was standing, and he sends a text back, oh, we can see you. And I was like, oh, who's there? And I'm just waving, He said, oh, it's me, Dominic, and I don't remember who else was there. But anyway, that's when I learned that there actually was a Wandertag, because I did not know that there was a group of children behind me. And evidently what they saw when they looked was me, as if I were scouting out the area and saying, oh, it's okay, yeah, come on, kids. Because he said when I started up the hill, there was this trail of children behind me, and I had no idea that they were behind me, and that's when Dominic said, oh, today's Wandertag. And so he explained Wandertag to us. I think it, maybe even in Germany, they have a Wandertag, but for sure in Switzerland, they have one every year. And like I said, I've seen kids, during Fasnacht, the few weeks before Fasnacht, they'll be out and about in the town, and they'll go see all the different things to see, because there's different statues up, and, maybe there's even a game. Sort of like when we went to Freiburg, and there was the puppet parade.
Yeah.
And we had to find the different puppets. Yeah. Which we found at least one.
We found two.
I thought, okay, I knew there was at least one. We found lots in that museum, which was kind of, I'm sorry to say.
I loved it.
I know you did.
Awesome.
It was a little creepy to me.
No, I loved it.
It was funny. That was fun, and I would go back. I would actually go back.
If I lived in Freiburg, I would be at the Puppet Museum like every weekend.
I have to say, the story of this museum, it was a lady who, made dolls, and she did it for the children. I mean, she just made these puppets and these dolls, and did little shows for local kids, and she was. It was just so cute. And the museum even had there were games for us to play in there.
The memory games.
That was a lot of fun. And then some of them are like marionettes. And so there's a little show for them, and the lights come on and they go off. It's really interesting. And it was a lot of fun.
And there was no one else there, which was nice.
We kind of had the place to ourselves. That was really nice. It was and I would go back for sure. Yeah. But it's definitely something that, I do have nightmares about it. But... But I would still go back because it was fun, because I love the story. Yeah. I love that she did it for the children.
I don't understand why people are so
It reminded me of the
dolls.
nun on Elf. But the children love the books.
I don't know why people think dolls and puppets are creepy. Like, I have those two porcelain dolls in my room, and you said one was creepy because she was missing an eye.
She's missing an eye. It does look...
It's not creepy. She's, like, right by my head, too.
I can say I have had a love-fear relationship with dolls and clowns and puppets my whole life, because I loved dolls. I loved playing with dolls. I loved dolls in one sense. But I also, don't like when it seems like their eyes are moving towards you. That's kind of bizarre for me.
Dolls don't do that. I've never seen dolls that have the eyes like that.
Yeah, and then
I've never understood that.
I also, just, I don't know. I don't know if it was something that I kind of peer related, that maybe some peers had said this, and I just thought it was cool. They were cool people, so I had to take on that role as well. That's probably a lot of it.
Okay.
But I mean, I do love dolls, and I love teddy bears and things like that. So, and I always thought puppet shows were really cool. But again, I think part of it might have been a little bit of a peer thing, where some peers didn't, and I thought those particular peers were cool, and I had to act like them and say the same things they did.
Yeah. Well, I've also always loved clowns, and like anything like clowns, dolls, that kind of. I love those. I love puppets.
The clown feet at...
Those were amazing.
Giffy?
Yeah.
Okay, there's this little store that has just all kinds of... Everything. Yeah, Giffy has alles. And there are, in their Fasnacht costume area right now, there are these huge clown feet that look like bowling shoes.
Yes.
And then they have the huge white hands right near them. But I didn't see a red nose or anything like that. I guess they assume people have that themselves. But I thought, I would trip in those shoes. How are they? They're huge, and they're so funny.
They're great.
Oh, well, I'm having more wine. What about you, Brooke?
I'm not finished with my wine yet.
In case that, go pour a glass, please, you guys, and we'll drink with you. We don't mind at all.
I'm not done yet.
You see me pressuring my child to drink.
I have to finish it before I can start a new glass.
Well, that's true, because I need to proceed with my fresh. So we don't want any bad luck stuff going on.
You were in between fresh and glass? You said fresh.
Did I say fresh?
Yes, you did.
Okay. That's funny. Bruce, Brookie. Yeah. Okay, so which nights are we going out? Because I think Thursday is when the bands start. But do you remember there's that place that turns into the saloon?
Ooh.
Yeah. We might have to go there with them.
What about the pirate bar?
I haven't been to. I think it's open now. We need to check the hours. I saw the sign. I want to go to the pirate bar. Mm-hmm. I definitely do want to go to the pirate bar. I did not go last year. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Well, I want to go to bars while dressed up because I think that would be fun.
Well, then I think that we need to try that. Maybe that'll be the Thursday night.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to save some money if you can.
I know. I don't.
You just have a couple beers or a glass of wine, but I'm hoping that we can do some videos and pictures at places.
I'll bring my unicorn with me.
Yeah, well, he's going to be hard to keep up with. You better put a leash on him, so you can put it around your wrist.
Something I could put.
And have him around your wrist so you don't have to carry him the whole time.
Well, I could just bring a bag.
Well, you could. That cumbersome, Mm-hmm. I don't know. I got to figure out if I want. Because I like the pinky pink, but this is more orangey pink. And so, but I always thought it was pinky pink until I put it up next to my gloves. And today I noticed it's not as pink as I thought it was.
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But that's okay.
But, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I do need to do color and do Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Well, there's the orange spray at...
But it has to be pinky green. I gotta stick with pinky green. That was my go-to color palette.
Migros has stuff too.
Yeah, that was my go-to color palette in junior, senior year of high school. Well, I guess by the end of senior year, I was going more to the Kelly green and navy blue.
Okay.
I felt like I was more sophisticated. But this didn't be a lot of fun. But I did just go to my 40th class reunion last year, and so that was kind of. I think it was so funny because I wasn't expecting anyone to speak to me. And I think that it was a little. I think I was a little pleasantly surprised, I guess, that a lot of people were wanting to talk and kind of catch up. And I thought, wow, this is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. But I had a lot of fun then. I wouldn't take my sunglasses off.
Yeah.
I was not quite comfortable without my sunglasses. That was my that I guess that's kind of my my security blanket is my sunglasses when I'm out in public. Sorry, that's weird, right? Okay, so what are you gonna do on Fasnacht? I mean, how many nights are we going out?
I don't know.
You got to get this planned out.
I mean, as many nights as I can get these jewels to stick on my face.
There you go. I know, because they're expensive.
There were 3 frames.
If they're supposed to... Oh, wait a minute. The ones I was seeing were 15.
These were the ones we got from Giphy.
Okay. All right. So...
I have another set of them, so... But I think you said, like we said, we could do it with
eyelash glue.
Either that, or we can get the fake nails and use the nail glue. I think.
Oh no! Because that you need acetone to get off, and that will burn your skin and rip your skin. No! That's too strong. That's almost like super glue. You don't want that. You want eyelash glue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do my nails, so I've only used like the stick-on ones.
Oh yeah, I do want to get my nails painted before then, so I gotta figure out the nails and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be cold. It's always cold, just to let you know. So you guys, if y'all ever plan a trip to Switzerland just because you want to see the Fasnacht,
it's cold.
Be prepared for cold, but...
also be prepared for warm. You never know. It's
that's true.
End of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I had... Yeah, I think I remember it mostly as cold. But I'm probably just remembering last year.
First year it wasn't that cold.
Yeah, maybe not.
Because I was fine in just
COVID was everywhere. We just didn't know it.
Yeah. But I had the leather jacket and the jumpsuit on, and I was fine.
In fact, it was either the next week or less than 2 weeks. We were hiking. I'll never forget. We were hiking, and we were coming back home, and we were at a familiar spot that we've come through a lot of times. And so we sat there, and that's when we would sit and eat our Cahiers chocolate. And we were sitting there, and your dad's like, oh my gosh, I evidently got a lot of text messages from Biogen. And so, for some reason, I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention to us on, but anyway, when we sat down, he's sitting on it and then saying, do not go back into the office until further notice or something like that. We're going to send you this. We're going to send you all the equipment you need to set up a home office. Just tell us what you need. How many monitors do you need? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, they were sending all this stuff. He just ordered all this stuff to set up the home office. And I mean, it was 18 months.
It was crazy
or more, maybe 2 years
he was at home. He had to take a break from work when I had the ballet class. Because I had to do ballet class out in the living room. And then one time he had a meeting at the same time. And it was crazy.
Yeah. But that was something. I mean, that was just like, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, because, I mean, it was 6 years. And unfortunately, they were a super spreader.
Yeah, I know. I was so glad that, because Biogen in Cambridge was so close to Dean, that I was really glad I wasn't in, the sciences, because I know for sure someone would have been like, your dad was at a company that is a super spreader. Someone would have said
super spreader. They were one of the early super spreaders. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Milan was the biggest super spreader, the fashion show in Milan.
To be fair to Biogen, they didn't know.
No, we didn't know. They didn't know.
It was right at the beginning, so, you can't be upset about people being super spreaders at the beginning, because no one knew.
Right. Nope. No
one knew. It's like that cruise ship in Wuhan or in China or something like that at the beginning, and they had to be quarantined on the cruise ship, and I think people were rude,
there were several cruise ships where people were quarantined on the ship,
and people were why'd you go on a cruise? Because no one knew.
Right. Well, yeah. It was something. I think a lot of lessons learned. I hope a lot of lessons were learned.
We went to Milan around the time
we were in Milan. We were in Milan in December.
Yeah.
In December. So probably
when it started spreading.
It probably was already there, and we did. But the biggest thing that brought it to Milan was people were coming from all over the world for fashion show, for fashion week, and that was in January, February. Yeah. And so, we were there in mid-December. And, wow. I had no clue.
Crazy.
But what a good time we had there. Oh, wow.
Fun.
Oh, that was one of our first big European Christmas markets.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, in Milan. Oh, my goodness, that hot chocolate.
It's good. And the cannolis.
The cannolis.
This big. It's like those big macarons in Lausanne.
Oh,
the actual size, because those are the actual size they make in the country they're from. So, in France, they make them that big. In Italy, they make the cannolis this big.
And it was so good. And that hot chocolate was like a melted chocolate bar.
So good.
So thick and, oh my goodness, so delicious. Yeah, we had a really, and it's all around the Duomo. Yeah. They've set up the little huts around the Duomo, and it is so beautiful. The backdrop is amazing. Yeah. And then you have the Galleria. So you got Duomo, you got the space, and all the little market stalls, and then the Galleria with all those lights. Yeah. And it really did feel like you were in some kind of special place. Yeah. Oh, wow. Love Milan. Yeah. We definitely got to do that again. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll do it around Christmas again. We might do that again, because that was a great Christmas market. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's so much fun. Okay. Well, we have had fun, so we hope you've all enjoyed the conversation.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. If you want to join the conversation, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at WineTogetherPod. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribing, liking, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.